Well, to be honest with you, it's not been easy. This week's been tough. Yeah, I'm just not sure how to feel right now. I don't know. Something weird going on. Last night I had to block somebody on Facebook, and I don't feel good about doing that. I don't get enjoyment out of shutting somebody out of my life, no matter how I feel about that person. Because I like that person as a person, because I don't hate anybody. At the same time, though, whenever all of their ideas are toxic, everything that they talk about is toxic, I can't have that in my life. I don't think you should have that in your life either. So if you're going through that, you need to stop. I can't believe it snowed last night. It is April 21st right now. This is the latest that I can remember it's snowing. This is the latest in the spring that I can remember it's snowing. Well, I'm at the thrift store. I am looking for a few props for the musical. I've been tasked to go look for certain items, and I'm going to go look for them. There's a lot of people in here because there's always people here right whenever this store opens, and it just opened like 5 minutes ago. So, yeah. Well, no such luck. I had trouble finding what I need. The desk that they have a desk that would work, except it's made of metal. So it's really, really heavy. And that doesn't work on stage. You can't use a metal desk on stage, something that's heavy and bulky, but you still want something that looks period appropriate. So it becomes this little balancing trick, of finding something that looks like it fits the scene, and then, making it so that you can move it on and off stage really easily. And it just, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go grab some food and go into the school. Because a big project that I need to work on myself, one for me, is working on the program. This year we're doing something a little bit different. This year we're working on making it so that it's available digitally. And in order to do that, I need to create it in a way that it looks nice on the screen and prints well, because there will be some people who will print it at home and take it and make it their own, like, little souvenir. So, because there are people that like to do that kind of thing. We didn't want to take that away this year because we still wanted to give them something, because there's those people that scrapbook, that kind of thing. And we know that. And so we do want to give them something that is something that they could use in that kind of scrapbook, because especially right now, so many people are creating things for, graduations and stuff, whenever you're in high school. We want to facilitate that as much as possible, but, we also have to deal with COVID and printing costs. Printing programs is a cost that we incur every year, and we happily incur that cost. Our sponsors and our ticket sales do cover that. But as I mentioned in that earlier video, our funds, while we're okay, and we will continue having musicals and we will continue doing this, it's a little bit tighter this year. We're a little bit tighter on money because we haven't been paid last year for last year's musical. Still haven't heard from that ticketing agent. We won't for a few months, if we get it at all. I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, but I'm going to. Sorry, Eric, I know you're watching, but I'm going to spill the beans a little bit. That ticketing agent is holding $10,000, over $10,000 that they owe us. Our patrons paid the ticketing agent last year. So on the front end, our patrons, they buy a ticket from our website. Whenever they buy a ticket from our website, it appears as if we're getting the money directly. That isn't the way it works. So whenever you buy a ticket from our website, it goes through a ticketing agent. And whenever you buy through a ticketing agent, the agent then holds the money and then pays us at a later date. This ticketing agent didn't pay us. And while I understand what they're going through, because what happened was everything got canceled last year. After our musical was done, we finished beginning of March last year. They just said, okay, well, don't cash those checks because they're not any good because everybody's canceling on us and we don't have the money. Our patrons paid them over 10 grand that they owe us. Makes life a little bit difficult. We'll get it though. We'll make it work. I'm actually really happy that we're doing a digital program. It will allow me to fix any mistakes or any omissions on the fly because it's inevitable. I've been making programs for shows for dozens of years. I've done so many of them. And it's inevitable that every time somebody gets left out, somebody's name is misspelled, I can send out the program and I can say, everybody look at the program. Make sure your name is spelled correctly. Make sure I didn't leave anybody out. Print them all up. Day of the show, somebody comes to me. My name is spelled incorrect. Oh, I told you to check it. And they don't. They think, oh, you spelled my name right. I don't know how to spell your name. Problem is that we live in a community that has diverse spellings of names. My name, Hoffman, has 3 different ways you could spell it. I'm sorry. There's 4 different ways you could spell it. There's Huffman, there's Hoffman, then there's Huffmann, and Hoffmann, and that is just my last name, which is a simple last name. Hoffman is how I spell it. And it's not pronounced Hoffman, by the way. While we're in the names, let me tell you, my last name is so weird. I pronounce it Huffman. Huffman. It's not Hoffman. It's Huff. If you call me Hoffman, I'm not going to be like, my name is Huffman, get it right. It's spelled with an O. Of course you're going to say Hoffman. But something I do want you to get right. I'm not related to Andy Hoffman. That's a completely different last name. You wouldn't believe how many times I get that. Oh, your name rhymes with Kaufman. You're probably related to Andy Hoffman. No, my name is Andy. My last name is Huffman. That does not make me related to Andy Hoffman. This is the store. I don't know if you can see it back there. It says Paul Store. It's the St. Vincent de Paul store. St. Vincent de Paul is a very, very nice organization. They're a good organization for people in the community. They help people who need help with housing. They need help with different things, all kinds of different things. St. Vincent de Paul is a great organization that helps people out. It is a Catholic organization. It's really good. And whenever you shop at this store, it helps them make the community better, which is why I like shopping at this store as opposed to like Goodwill. Because whenever you shop at Goodwill, for instance, that money goes to that corporation and it doesn't go to the community. I don't know what the situation is with Goodwill anymore because I've stopped going in there a long time ago. They used to employ people with special needs and then not pay them well and not treat them very nicely. I'm not talking about our local store here. I haven't heard stories about our local store. I've just heard about Goodwill in general. I'm talking about Goodwill in general. This is run by a group of volunteers. It's run by people who care about the community. The money goes back to the community. And so that's why I like this store, even if I don't practice that religion anymore. That's a story for another day. I was driving along and I just saw something I need to show you. A piece of my childhood is gone. I knew it was coming, but I'm still in shock. So I'm going to take a moment to show you this. So what you see here in this little corner, right here, this building, was my first elementary school. As we drive along here, you'll notice it's gone. There's chunks of it gone. I'm going to be 100% clear with you. I knew this was happening. I knew it was going to happen. They have a new elementary school. Yeah. Did not expect to see it completely flattened because I think last week I came back here in this area and it was still there. Oh my gosh, you guys are completely sideways. Gosh, are you guys drunk? Why are you all dangly like that? But no, like it was completely, like it was still there last week. And now it's gone. It's crazy how that happens. I guess that's, life is temporary. Everything is temporary. Not trying to get existential on you, but yeah, everything is temporary. Cherish what you have. Love what you have while you still have it. Life is temporary and quite short, which means that you need to accomplish as much as you can, or as much as you're willing to, not as much as you can, because it's saying doing as much as you can means that you are pushing yourself to your limit all the time. And if you do that, then you're going to burn yourself out. The car that I'm driving right now, I could drive it 120 miles an hour all the time. That's going to kill my engine. That's going to kill my brakes. That's going to kill everything in my car. It's going to make it overheat. It's going to make it last not as long. You wouldn't do that to your car. They didn't do it to the Enterprise in Star Trek. The Enterprise, right? Follow me here. It's a weird analogy, but follow me. The Enterprise can go warp 9. It can do that. They didn't go warp 9 all the time, though. They only did it when they had to. Normally, they were at warp 5. You know why they didn't? Because if they were at warp 9, the Enterprise wouldn't have lasted as long. Do the same for yourself. If you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing and you're trying to give your best 100% of the time, that's going to become your norm. And then you're going to be pushing yourself to work harder and harder and harder. And you're going to get burnt out. Don't do that. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying give your best all the time. What I am saying is do what makes you happy and do what you can. Do what you're willing to do. The thing about, I talked about it a little bit earlier, I didn't have a great day yesterday. I had to block somebody on Facebook because they're not nice people. It's not that they're not nice people. They're nice enough. They're nice enough people. But if I come at you with an open heart and an open mind, and I'm thinking about where you're coming from, and I'm trying to understand where you're coming from, and then all you lay out there is blaming another party, another political party for all the wrong things that are happening, assuming that they're going to do bad things just because of which way they lean. I'm talking about left or right. In general, I'm talking about left or right. You cannot blame any certain party for all the bad things that are happening. No. You can blame certain people for things that are happening, and you can say that this person caused this and that person caused that, which is true. But to lump everybody together and make a sweeping generalization about a people is wrong. I'm guilty of saying a certain party is wrong all the time, because that's the way I feel. That's the way I perceived that at that particular time. That's not right. That doesn't make it right. And I was wrong for that. I'm trying to do better, and that's the whole thing, is that we gotta try to do better, right? I'm trying to open my heart, open my ears, and listen to what the other side has to say. I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to hear them out. Whenever they're coming at me with sweeping generalizations, making really, racist remarks. I just can't. I can't do that anymore. I did it a lot. I listened to that a lot. And I was like, gee willikers, that's not a good thing to say. And I even called them out on it. I was like, hey, that's a racist thing to say. And then they came at me with even more racist comments. It's like, no, life is temporary. And I don't have time for that. I only have time for positive energy. And so I'm struggling today because I had to block this person. I don't like doing it. I want to hear her out, but I can't. Can't hear her out whenever words are filled with so much hate. It's really hard. It's tough. People say all you can ask is for people to do their best. All you can ask is for people to do what they're willing to do. And if what they're willing to do doesn't meet your standard, then you need to move on. So I did. That's hard. I want to welcome you all into my community here. And I want you all to feel like you belong here. That's my whole thing about my community is I want to be inclusive and I want to include you. I want you to feel included. But if you don't carry that same mentality of including others, I'm sorry. If you don't carry out the same love for each other, I'm not sorry. You don't have a place in my community. With those words, though, I don't want you to take them and say that I'm full of hate. And that's what she was doing, was that she was saying that I was full of hate because I'm not including her point of view. It's just not the way it is. I'm not full of hate. I'm full of love and joy, and I want to create and foster this community of inclusion for you. I want you to feel like you belong, because you do belong in my life, and I will never shut you out of my life as long as you don't shut others out of your life. I hope this isn't coming across as preachy. I hope that this message feeds your heart. I hope that you always stay happy. Sorry, it's really bumpy. I'm going to wait until I get through all these bumps. Oh my gosh, so many bumps. So I'm trying to open my heart, trying to open my eyes and listen. I listen with my eyes.